So I feel really bad that I haven't made this video. I feel like I should have just made it a while ago, but I guess it's better late than never, and I'm gonna just, you know, go ahead and talk about it because it's something that I'm asked about all the time. How is Riker's eye? How is Riker's eye? Or just questions about, you know, my feelings on how the surgery went and how he's doing now and my thoughts on that and everything. And just kind of giving some hopeful advice to those who are about to go through it or trying to go through it or just went through it. You know, I get a lot of questions and comments and messages about this, so I really want to make this video because I feel like I want to live up to those people who are just so stressed out and so upset about the whole situation, because I was there and there's not much online about it. It's not, I guess it's not super common, I guess, to have ptosis. I don't know, but not too many people have made videos about it and there's not really a ton online about it. So I want to make this update of Riker's ptosis and let you guys know how he's doing and all that stuff. So Riker got his surgery done when he was 9 months. I do have another video about it. I will link it somewhere, and you guys can go check it out. I talk about the whole surgery, all about, you know, everything that went on with it. So if you're not sure what ptosis is and all that, you can go ahead and click it and go ahead and check it out, so that way you can be updated for this video. Now, for now, Riker is 3 years old and he got his surgery done at 9 months, so it's been a while that he had his surgery, and I feel like for this surgery it heals so fast. It's probably the fastest surgery, especially for kids. Kids heal fast. They can get a cut one day and it looks terrible. The next day after sleep, it looks like barely anything, like this little teeny mark on their hand, or wherever, you know, they got the cut. So they heal very fast, and that's why I think for this surgery it's so simple and so minor that they heal from it super fast, and that's why they don't feel much pain from it. I mean, they might feel achy. He definitely didn't have signs that it was like achy or that it was in terrible pain, because he barely like touched it. The only time he started to look like he was gonna touch it was that he always rubbed that eye all the time. It was just something he always did, and he always still does, and I think part of that is because the muscle maybe feels weird. I'm not quite sure, but he's always rubbed that eye ever since he was, you know, a baby. I just think that it felt a bit itchy for him near the 4th and 5th day. Of course, everything was healing, so it's going to be a bit itchy. So I think that was the only thing that kind of bugged him the most, was that it was really itchy for him, healing and everything. But other than that, he had no signs of discomfort, frustrating, like being upset about it or anything. He was the happiest baby. He came home and he was eating food and he ate a ton. The only thing that was a little bit rough, I think, for us was that every 2 or 3 hours he had to put ointment in his eye because their eye was slightly open for just a few months, because they tighten the muscle really tight in order to make it room for when it does drop and relax. But he was the happiest baby ever, and you know, even with the ointments that we had to put on the incisions and everything, he didn't really, you know, I mean, he might have moved in his sleep a little bit, and that was just for the first like four nights. It was, you know, kind of a little bit hard then, but it's all worth it. The surgery is 100% worth the time and the effort, and it's so important for them. I am so thankful that I got it done, and I had his pediatrician and a great eye surgeon that was kind of pushed me to get it done, especially at 9 months, because he doesn't remember it. He doesn't remember at all. His eye is still doing great. It does relax, so his eyelid has relaxed a little bit, but not enough to hinder his vision. His vision so far last time was pretty good. He had a hint of, you know, might not being able to see up close, but that was like very, very minor. He's gonna go back this year because he sees his eye doctor about every year, and I gotta make an appointment for him to see him this year. And other than that, his eye has, like I said, dropped a little bit, but not enough to hinder his vision whatsoever. It's just above his pupil, and he does occasionally have his eye closed like this, but it's not all the time. It's only because he uses his eyelid to, his eyebrow to lift his eyelid. So if you think about when he's tired and when you're like this and you kind of just have your eyes kind of cracked, his other eye is going to be closed because it's not as, it's not just your eyelid muscle that's keeping your eye open, it's your eyebrow. So your eyebrow is going to be kind of drooped. So other than that, like, he uses his eye all the time, besides being tired, or when he smiles sometimes his eye will kind of close and it'll be like this. But honestly, like, I have no regrets. I am so thankful that I got it done. The surgery is over with. I don't have to deal with it. There was talk about a second surgery, but they honestly don't think it might happen with him. His eye surgery is done so well, and his eye hasn't changed much or shifted much. Sometimes when they're growing, your eyes change, things get bigger and smaller, your frame of your face, all that stuff. So there was a talk that maybe later on in life he might need one, maybe when he's like 4 or whatnot, but they're still saying that he possibly doesn't need a second one. So they're pretty like happy with that, and I'm pretty happy with that if he doesn't have to have a second one. He did have to have a small minor second kind of little fix. I'm trying to think of when it was. I don't remember. It was past 1. I want to say it was like 1.5, but I'm not 100% sure. But he did have to go in. He had one of his surgical threads kind of sticking out, and he had to get it trimmed and tucked back in, and then sewn back up a little bit because it's something you don't want. The surgical thread is what keeps like the muscle and everything inside and sewn, and it's something that stays in your body, and something that he had to have in there. And if it's poking out, that means there's a little leeway for bacteria to kind of like get around the piece of surgical thread, so he had to have it clipped and fixed. But it was another quick thing. I didn't want him to go back under and be put out again, but sometimes that happens. And he said that in his entire several years, I can't remember exactly, it was like he's been in surgery for several years. He said in that whole time he's never had to do this and have it fixed like that because it's just never happened. So it's just kind of a rare case, but it has happened with other surgeons, so it's no big deal. But that was fixed, and it was a simple minor thing, so no big deal. He wasn't affected by it whatsoever. After he got done, we went home, and he was a crazy boy and ran around like his normal self. So I highly recommend those mothers out there who are, parents, whatever, are thinking about getting this surgery for your child. Please go and get it done. I know it's stressful. I know it's hard. I know it's upsetting. It's something that you never wish upon your child or your baby, especially, to get a surgery done. Like, it's a horrible thought, and it made me cringe. It made me sick. It made me go through all the emotions, but just please know that it's something that's very, very important, and just keep thinking that in your head, that it's so important for your baby to get this done, for their vision, for their future. Just always keep thinking that in your mind, and eventually you'll get through it. You're gonna have random moments of frustration or just being upset about it, but as long as you keep thinking about the fact that it's so important for them, and once the surgery's over, you're just going to be happy it's done, and then it's over with. And like I said, it's a minor surgery. It's very simple. It's one of the most minor surgeries you can have on anyone. Older people, they put you out, but even then, they don't even have to put you out for very long. They don't have to give you a lot of anesthesia to really put you out, because it's such a simple surgery. So just remember, just keep reminding yourself that it's very, very important, and it will help you. It will kind of ease it a little bit. I mean, you're gonna have moments, like I said, but it will ease the you know, idea of the whole surgery thing. And I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy, but just remember that, you know, like I went through it, and he's fine. He's happy. His eye works now, and he can be a happy, you know, normal child. And like I said too, with his eye being somewhat drooped sometimes, some people mention, oh, what happened to his eye? And I'm just like, oh, he had surgery, and you know, to fix it. Some people are like, oh my word, he had surgery on his eye. And I'm like, yeah, he had it 9 months. And they're like, what? But like, when you look back at it now, I just think like it was such a simple minor surgery. It was literally like these tiny little marks. He has one here, and one here. These tiny, tiny, tiny little marks, and a tiny one right here. Like, they're very, very, very small. Not even an inch. Like, they weren't even an inch. Just super small little incisions. They put the muscle in, tie it up, and that's it. And they barely feel any pain. So just please try to remember that, to not stress yourself out, because you need to be there for support for them in case they are kind of upset or spleeny or anything like that. Just try to be brave for them so they don't kind of feel anything. That's one thing I told myself too, is I wanted to be brave for him, because we're going into a hospital. It's kind of new and weird, and you know, hospitals smell weird, and surgery places, like, they're just, I don't really like being in there. But I had to be calm and be like cool, and just, you know, not make it seem like it was a big deal. We made it fun. Oh, look at this, you know, showing different things. The nurses were really good about it. They try to like keep them occupied and happy, and just not be stressed about anything, because you don't want them to think something's terribly wrong and whatnot, and freak out right before they're gonna go and get surgery. So just try to be calm for them and be strong for them, so that way they don't feel a difference, or you know, something bad is gonna happen. So just don't feel like you're alone. Please feel free, like I said, to message me. Don't be afraid. A lot of people do it on Instagram, but I also have a Facebook. I'll put all my links down below. You can message me on here too, through Google+. Like, that's perfectly fine. You know, I just want to be there for those who are going through this, because even though it's such a minor thing, you know, you can get really stressed out and upset about it. And although I have my family and my husband and things like that, it is nice for those who maybe not have that, or just need like that kind of like advice from someone who's gone through it. So don't be shy to message me or anything, because that's what I make these videos for, to be able to help you, help those who are gonna go through it, or just confused about it. So don't ever hesitate. So I hope this video does help. Like I said, Riker's doing perfectly fine. The surgery, just, it's so important. Please go get the surgery. Push your doctors, push your eye doctors, you know, whoever you can, and let them know that, you know, it's been done successful, you know, at a young age, and just, it's so important. So I hope that you all are doing well otherwise, and I hope that this video does help you, makes you feel a little more better about the situation, and you can go and kiss your baby and give him a big hug, and know that once they have the surgery, things are going to be fine, and they'll be able to move on to recovery, and then grow up to be a crazy little boy like Riker and run around like a normal boy or normal girl, and be silly and their normal toddler self. So I am glad that I get to quickly make this video and be able to talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to edit this and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye everyone!